The Great Train Robbery, 1963. In the quiet English countryside, during the summer of 1963, a notorious gang of criminals meticulously planned one of the most audacious heists in history, the Great Train Robbery. Led by the charismatic Bruce Reynolds, a seasoned criminal with a flair for organization, the gang sought to target a Royal Mail train carrying a substantial sum of money. This daring endeavor would captivate the nation and leave a lasting mark on criminal history. Bruce Reynolds, known for his connections in the criminal underworld, initiated the process of assembling a team for the audacious Great Train Robbery. He carefully selected individuals who possessed the specific skills required to carry out the meticulously planned heist. Ronnie Biggs, an experienced thief with a knack for organizing and executing high-stakes robberies, was a central figure in the gang. Known for his charm and audacity, Biggs had conceived the idea of robbing a train, recognizing the immense potential for a substantial haul. Reynolds and Biggs had crossed paths in the criminal underworld, sharing a mutual respect for each other's abilities. They met at a dimly lit pub in East London, away from prying eyes, to discuss their ambitions. Over pints of beer, they delved into the details of the heist, exploring the logistics, potential obstacles, and escape plans. It was during this meeting that the foundations of the Great Train Robbery were laid, as Reynolds recognized Biggs's expertise and enthusiasm as invaluable to their success. As Reynolds and Biggs brainstormed the intricacies of the plan, they identified the need for a skilled safecracker to access the secure compartments of the train. Charlie Wilson, a trusted associate known for his precision and expertise in cracking safes, came highly recommended. Reynolds arranged a meeting at a discreet location, where they discussed the nature of the job and Wilson's role within the team. Wilson's inclusion was a crucial step, ensuring the gang had the necessary expertise to penetrate the train's secure compartments and retrieve the coveted cash. Recognizing the importance of meticulous planning and flawless execution, Reynolds sought an individual with expertise in logistics and transportation. Buster Edwards, a seasoned criminal with a deep understanding of the transportation industry, fit the bill perfectly. Edwards was renowned for his knowledge of train schedules, routes, and potential vulnerabilities. Reynolds met with Edwards in a smoky backroom of a local cafe, discussing the significance of his role in ensuring a smooth getaway and evading the authorities. Over time, these initial meetings evolved into regular gatherings, where Reynolds, Biggs, Wilson, and Edwards fine-tuned their plan, addressed potential obstacles, and solidified their roles within the operation. They discussed the specific tools and equipment required, carefully considering every detail to minimize the risk of detection and maximize the chances of success. With each meeting, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose grew stronger. The gang members realized they were embarking on a historic undertaking that demanded their unwavering commitment. Together, they formed a formidable unit, bound by trust, mutual respect, and the shared goal of executing the perfect heist. These meetings not only solidified the team's structure, but also established the groundwork for a successful execution of their audacious plan. The collective knowledge, expertise, and shared determination of Reynolds, Biggs, Wilson, and Edwards formed the core of the gang, creating a synergy that would prove vital in the face of the challenges that lay ahead. The meticulous planning of the Great Train Robbery involved months of studying the logistics of the Royal Mail train route, leaving no stone unturned. The gang was aware that their success relied on a deep understanding of the train's schedule, vulnerabilities, and strategic points where they could carry out the heist without arousing suspicion. To gather crucial insider information, the gang engaged in extensive reconnaissance. They discreetly observed the train's regular routes, noting the times it passed through various locations, including stations, junctions, and bridges. They closely monitored the patterns and routines of the Royal Mail train, identifying the opportune moment for their audacious plan. To gain access to insider information, the gang utilized their criminal connections within the railway industry. Through strategic contacts, they discreetly acquired knowledge about the train's schedule, including specific details about the day and time it carried the substantial sum of money. These invaluable insights helped the gang refine their plan and ensure they struck at the most opportune moment. Simultaneously, the gang procured a diverse range of tools and weapons necessary for the heist. They obtained masks and gloves to conceal their identities, ensuring their faces would be unrecognizable. They acquired crowbars and other specialized equipment to bypass security measures on the train and gain access to the secure compartments containing the cash. Additionally, they armed themselves with firearms, prepared for any potential confrontations or obstacles that might arise during the operation. The gang's attention to detail extended to the selection of their getaway location. They identified the secluded Bridego Railway Bridge in Buckinghamshire, which presented an ideal opportunity for their plan. This location was strategically chosen because the train significantly slowed down as it approached the bridge, allowing for a controlled stop without raising suspicion. Understanding the crucial role that signals played in train operations, the gang discovered that tampering with the railway signals would be the key to halting the train at the perfect location. By meticulously studying the signal system, they learned how to manipulate it to their advantage. They devised a plan to disable or divert the signals, ensuring the train would come to a halt exactly where they wanted. The gang spent considerable time testing and refining their techniques for tampering with the signals, ensuring they could carry out the operation swiftly and with minimal disruption. They rehearsed their actions repeatedly, developing a seamless process to halt the train and overpower the crew. Throughout the planning phase, the gang faced numerous challenges and risks. They understood the need for meticulous preparation to mitigate the potential for errors or unexpected complications. By studying the logistics of the train route, procuring the necessary tools and weapons, and fine-tuning their methods of manipulating the railway signals, they took painstaking measures to ensure the success of their audacious heist. Under the cover of darkness on the night of August 7, 1963, the gang set their plan into motion. Disguised as maintenance workers, they arrived at the secluded bridge armed with their carefully selected equipment. The meticulous planning paid off, as they swiftly tampered with the signals, forcing the train to come to an unexpected halt. As the train screeched to a halt, the gang members, masked and armed, stormed on board. The element of surprise worked in their favor as they overpowered the startled crew members, quickly taking control of the carriages. The crew was left shocked and helpless, unable to comprehend the audacity of the criminals' actions. With the train brought to a halt and under their control, the gang swiftly went about locating the carriage that contained the highly sought-after loot. The adrenaline pumping through their veins and the weight of their audacious undertaking intensified their senses as they navigated the compartments with a sense of purpose and precision. Their meticulous planning paid off as they efficiently gathered the £2.6 million in cash, which would be equivalent to roughly £53 million in today's currency. The gang's experience and expertise allowed them to handle the money with practiced ease, swiftly filling sacks with bundles of cash. The sheer volume of the stolen wealth was a testament to their audacity and meticulous execution. The gang members worked methodically, ensuring they left no trace behind. They remained focused and disciplined, conscious of the need to move swiftly while minimizing the risk of leaving evidence that could be traced back to them. The adrenaline-fueled moments heightened their awareness, and their training kicked in as they efficiently completed their task. As they stuffed the sacks with the stolen cash, the weight of the money was a tangible reminder of the magnitude of their accomplishment. The significance of their actions and the potential impact it would have on their lives intensified the thrill coursing through their veins. The knowledge that they had successfully executed a meticulously planned heist added an element of exhilaration to their every move. News of the audacious heist quickly spread, captivating the nation and even reaching international headlines. The Great Train Robbery became an instant media sensation, capturing the imagination of the British public. The sheer audacity and scale of the crime intrigued and fascinated people who eagerly followed every twist and turn of the investigation. The press coverage of the Great Train Robbery painted the gang as modern-day outlaws, fueling both fascination and outrage among the masses. The daring nature of the heist, the meticulous planning, and the significant amount of money involved ensured that the story garnered widespread attention. People were captivated by the audacity of the criminals and the implications of their actions. The media circus surrounding the Great Train Robbery elevated the gang members to a status akin to folk heroes or villains, depending on one's perspective. They became figures of intrigue, embodying a rebellious spirit that both fascinated and appalled the public. The nation was captivated by the audacity and daring of the criminals, with public opinion divided between condemnation and a strange admiration for their audacious feat. The media frenzy surrounding the Great Train Robbery would leave an indelible mark on the cultural landscape, ensuring that the legend of the heist would endure for generations to come. The gang's meticulously planned and executed robbery not only captured vast amounts of money, but also captured the imaginations of the British public, forever etching their names into the annals of criminal history. The audacity of the Great Train Robbery sent shockwaves through the British authorities, triggering a massive investigation into one of the most notorious heists in history. Detectives and law enforcement agencies from across the country mobilized their resources and expertise to track down the perpetrators and bring them to justice. Realizing the magnitude of the crime and the urgency to apprehend the culprits, the authorities employed advanced forensic techniques that were cutting edge for the time. Crime scene investigators meticulously combed through the train and its surroundings, searching for any traces of evidence that could lead them to the gang members. Fingerprints, DNA samples, and other forms of forensic evidence were carefully collected and analyzed, providing valuable leads for the investigation. In their pursuit of justice, law enforcement agencies also relied on informants within the criminal underworld. These insiders provided crucial tips and information, often at great personal risk, helping to piece together the identities of the gang members and their whereabouts. The collaboration between law enforcement and informants played a pivotal role in closing in on the elusive criminals. Extensive surveillance operations were conducted to monitor known associates, safe houses, and potential hideouts. The authorities utilized advanced surveillance techniques, including wiretapping and covert surveillance, to gather intelligence and gain insights into the activities and movements of the gang members. This relentless surveillance put immense pressure on the criminals, heightening their sense of paranoia and the need to constantly stay one step ahead of the authorities. Aware of the mounting pressure and the intense pursuit by law enforcement, the gang members took desperate measures to evade capture. Some members chose to flee abroad, seeking refuge in countries beyond the reach of British law enforcement. They utilized their criminal connections to secure forged passports and identities, attempting to disappear into the criminal underbelly of foreign lands. Others remained within the United Kingdom, adopting new identities and utilizing safe houses to lie low and avoid detection. Despite their efforts to evade capture, the relentless pursuit by the authorities began to close in on the gang members. The extensive investigative efforts, combined with a growing network of informants and advanced forensic techniques, gradually narrowed down the list of suspects. The pressure mounted as the net tightened, leaving the criminals in a perpetual state of tension and anxiety. The cat-and-mouse game between law enforcement and the gang members reached a crescendo, with the nation eagerly following each development in the investigation. The media coverage of the Great Train Robbery and the subsequent hunt for the perpetrators created a sense of intrigue and fascination that gripped the public's imagination. Ultimately, the determined efforts of law enforcement led to the capture of many of the key figures involved in the Great Train Robbery. The gang members, once seen as modern-day outlaws and folk heroes, faced the consequences of their audacious actions. They were brought to justice, their carefully constructed criminal empire dismantled, and their names etched into the annals of criminal history as symbols of audacity and the pursuit of illicit wealth. The Great Train Robbery and its aftermath served as a stark reminder that no crime, no matter how meticulously planned, can escape the relentless pursuit of justice. In the aftermath of the Great Train Robbery, the relentless pursuit by law enforcement gradually led to the apprehension of many key figures involved in the heist. However, the mastermind behind the operation, Bruce Reynolds, managed to evade capture for several years, eluding the authorities with cunning and calculated moves. Reynolds, aware of the heat closing in on him, made a daring escape to Mexico, where he assumed a new identity. Living under the radar, he carefully constructed a new life, distancing himself from his criminal past. In Mexico, Reynolds adopted a low-profile existence, blending into the local community and keeping a cautious eye on any signs of detection. The authorities, undeterred by the distance, continued their relentless pursuit of Reynolds. The investigation spanned countries and jurisdictions, with international collaboration playing a crucial role in their efforts. Through careful coordination and cooperation with Mexican law enforcement, the long arm of the law eventually caught up with Reynolds. In 1968, Reynolds was arrested in Mexico and faced extradition back to the United Kingdom to face justice for his role in the Great Train Robbery. The news of his capture made headlines worldwide, reigniting public fascination with the audacious heist and the figure at its helm. Reynolds' extradition marked a significant victory for law enforcement, ensuring that the mastermind behind one of the most notorious crimes in British history would face the consequences of his actions. Meanwhile, Ronnie Biggs, a prominent member of the gang, took on a different path after his capture. In 1965, Biggs made a daring escape from prison, capturing the public's imagination and transforming himself into a symbol of defiance and rebellion. His life on the run added an extra layer of intrigue to the Great Train Robbery saga. Biggs, adopting multiple aliases and seeking refuge in various countries, managed to evade capture for several decades. His ability to navigate the criminal underworld and leverage his connections allowed him to maintain a fugitive lifestyle. During his time on the run, Biggs captured media attention and even became something of a folk hero, as his audacious escape and ability to elude authorities resonated with the public's fascination for rebels and outlaws. However, the law eventually caught up with Biggs. In 2001, the ailing fugitive voluntarily returned to the United Kingdom, recognizing that his days as a fugitive were coming to an end. He faced justice and served time in prison for his involvement in the Great Train Robbery, reflecting the end of an era and the culmination of a decades-long pursuit by law enforcement. The capture and extradition of Bruce Reynolds and the eventual surrender of Ronnie Biggs brought a sense of closure to the Great Train Robbery saga. It marked the end of an era that had captured the nation's attention, leaving an enduring legacy in British crime history. The audaciousness and intrigue of the heist, combined with the subsequent pursuit and capture of the key figures involved, ensured that the story of the Great Train Robbery would be forever etched in the public consciousness. The Great Train Robbery of 1963 remains one of the most notorious heists in history, leaving an indelible mark on British culture and criminal lore. Its audacity and meticulous planning continue to capture the imagination of storytellers, filmmakers, and true crime enthusiasts. The enduring legacy of the robbery serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the allure and consequences of criminal activities. The individuals involved in the heist paid a heavy price for their actions. Some served lengthy prison sentences, while others lived in the shadows as fugitives, constantly looking over their shoulders. The story of the Great Train Robbery serves as a reminder of the intricate dance between law enforcement and criminals, where both sides seek to outsmart and outmaneuver one another. Decades later, the fascination with the Great Train Robbery endures. It stands as a testament to the audacity and intrigue that can surround criminal exploits. The meticulous planning, the brazen execution, and the enduring legacy of the heist have ensured that the Great Train Robbery